Hi, welcome to DiscoveryQuests. I hope you all are doing great today. In the scorching deserts of northeastern Africa, a civilization flourished for over 3,000 years, leaving behind a legacy of awe-inspiring monuments, captivating art, and profound cultural heritage. Ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs and pyramids, gods and goddesses, invites us to explore its fascinating history, from the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt to the conquests of foreign powers. Imagine a land of majestic pyramids, vibrant culture, and mighty pharaohs, where the sands of time whisper secrets of a bygone era. Welcome to ancient Egypt's most fascinating chapters: the Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and New Kingdom. The Old Kingdom, 2686 to 2181 BC, the Pyramid Builders. In this dawn of ancient Egyptian civilization, visionary pharaohs forged monumental legacies. The iconic pyramids of Giza, Saqqara, and Dashur rose toward the heavens, testifying to the ingenuity and grandeur of Egypt's rulers. Hieroglyphic writing emerged, unlocking the mysteries of the ancient language. The Middle Kingdom, 2055 to 1650 BC, the Renaissance of Egypt. After a period of turmoil, Egypt's resurgence was marked by artistic innovation, cultural revival, and expansion. Pharaohs like Senusret III and Ahmose I reconquered lost territories, forging trade routes and conquests. The temples of Karnak and Luxor began to take shape, while literature and art flourished. The New Kingdom, 1550 to 1069 BC, the Golden Age of Pharaohs. This was ancient Egypt's zenith. Legendary rulers like Hatshepsut, Thutmose III, and Tutankhamun left indelible marks. Grand temples at Abu Simbel, Valley of the Kings, and Hatshepsut's majestic temple at Deir el-Bahri stood as testaments to Egypt's prosperity. The complex pantheon of gods, with Amun, Isis, and Osiris, influenced daily life. From the majestic pyramids of Giza to the exquisite temples of Luxor, ancient Egypt's architectural achievements continue to mesmerize us. The enigmatic Sphinx, the golden treasures of Tutankhamun, and the intricate hieroglyphs that tell stories of gods and mortals all testify to a civilization of unparalleled creativity and innovation. As we delve into ancient Egypt's chronology, we discover a complex society with a strict social hierarchy, where pharaohs ruled as god-kings, and people believed in a pantheon of deities. We encounter legendary rulers like Ramses II, Hatshepsut, and Akhenaten, who left indelible marks on Egyptian history. This comprehensive guide will transport you through the ages, exploring the early dynastic period, where Egypt's foundations were laid, the Old Kingdom, an era of pyramid construction and artistic refinement, the Middle Kingdom, a time of cultural resurgence and literary flourishing, the New Kingdom, marked by imperial expansion and iconic pharaohs, the Third Intermediate Period, a time of foreign domination and cultural transformation, the Late Period, where ancient Egypt's legacy was shaped by foreign influences. Join us on this captivating journey through ancient Egypt's history, culture, and achievements. Discover the secrets of this ancient civilization and uncover the mysteries that have enthralled scholars and enthusiasts for centuries. Early Dynastic Period. This era marks the beginning of ancient Egyptian civilization and is often referred to as the Archaic Period. It covers the time between the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under King Narmer, around 3100 BC, until the end of the Second Dynasty around 2686 BC. The early dynastic period saw the establishment of many of the hallmarks of ancient Egyptian society, including a centralized government, a complex religious system, and a system of writing. It was also a time of great cultural and artistic development, as the Egyptians began to create elaborate works of art and architecture that would become some of the most famous in the world. During this period, the pharaohs of Egypt were revered as god-kings, and their rule was absolute. They oversaw the construction of many impressive structures, such as the Step Pyramid of Djoser and the first true pyramid, the Red Pyramid of Sneferu. The early dynasties also saw the development of a hieroglyphic script, which would become one of the most important writing systems in the world. Old Kingdom. The Old Kingdom, also known as the Age of the Pyramids, covers the time period from the end of the Third Dynasty around 2686 BC to the end of the Sixth Dynasty around 2686 BC, 2181 BC. It was a time of great political stability, artistic and cultural development, and monumental construction projects that left a lasting legacy on human history. During the Old Kingdom period, the pharaohs of Egypt enjoyed unprecedented power and wealth, and the country's economy thrived under their rule. The pharaohs oversaw the construction of many of the most iconic structures of ancient Egypt, including the Great Pyramids of Giza, which remain some of the most impressive architectural achievements in human history. The Old Kingdom was also a time of great artistic and cultural development. The Egyptians refined their system of writing, developed a sophisticated religious and funerary belief system, and produced many of the most famous works of art and literature from the ancient world. First Intermediate Period. This period, which covers the time between the end of the Old Kingdom around 2181 BC and the beginning of the Middle Kingdom around 2055 BC, was marked by political fragmentation, economic instability, and cultural upheaval. It was a time of great change and uncertainty for the people of ancient Egypt. The First Intermediate Period began with the collapse of the centralized government that had characterized the Old Kingdom. As a result, Egypt was divided into a number of smaller kingdoms and city-states, each vying for power and resources. This led to a period of great instability, with frequent warfare and political upheaval. Despite this turmoil, the First Intermediate Period was also a time of cultural creativity and innovation. Artists and writers experimented with new styles and forms, and religious beliefs and practices underwent significant changes. It was also a time of great social mobility, as individuals and families were able to rise to positions of power and influence that had previously been reserved for the elite. Middle Kingdom. The Middle Kingdom period covers the time between the end of the First Intermediate Period, around 2055 BC, and the beginning of the Second Intermediate Period, around 1782 BC. It was a time of political and cultural resurgence, during which the Egyptians re-established a strong centralized government and experienced a great flourishing of art, literature, and culture. The Middle Kingdom period began with the reunification of Egypt under the pharaoh Mentuhotep II, who established the 11th dynasty and ushered in a period of stability and prosperity. The Middle Kingdom pharaohs enjoyed great power and wealth, and they oversaw the construction of many impressive structures, including temples, palaces, and fortresses. The Middle Kingdom was also a time of great artistic and literary achievement. The Egyptians produced some of their most famous works of art and literature during this period, including the coffin texts, a collection of funerary spells and rituals that were inscribed on coffins and sarcophagi, and the tale of Sinuhe, a famous story about an Egyptian courtier who flees to Syria. Second Intermediate Period. The Second Intermediate Period covers the time between the end of the Middle Kingdom, around 1782 BC, and the beginning of the New Kingdom, around 1550 BC. It was a time of great upheaval and uncertainty, marked by foreign invasion, political instability, and cultural transformation. The Second Intermediate Period began with the invasion of Egypt by the Hyksos, a foreign people who established a capital at Avaris in the delta region of Egypt. The Hyksos ruled over much of northern Egypt for several centuries, during which time they introduced new technologies and cultural practices to the region. Despite the Hyksos dominance, there were still native Egyptian rulers who retained control over portions of the country. These rulers established the 16th and 17th dynasties, which were based in Upper Egypt and which eventually succeeded in driving out the Hyksos and reuniting Egypt. The Second Intermediate Period was a time of great cultural exchange and innovation, with the Hyksos introducing new technologies and cultural practices to Egypt, and the native Egyptians responding with their own artistic and literary innovations. The period saw the emergence of new forms of art and literature, as well as significant developments in religion and philosophy. New Kingdom. The New Kingdom covers the time period from around 1550 BC to 1070 BC, and it was a time of great political and cultural achievements in ancient Egypt. This period saw the rise of some of the most famous pharaohs in Egyptian history, as well as significant developments in art, literature, religion, and warfare. The New Kingdom began with the reign of Ahmose I, who drove out the Hyksos and reunited Egypt. This marked the beginning of a period of unprecedented expansion and prosperity, during which time the Egyptians established a powerful empire that extended from Nubia in the south to Syria in the north. The New Kingdom pharaohs were among the most powerful rulers in the ancient world, and they presided over a period of great artistic and cultural innovation. The period saw the emergence of iconic works of art such as the Tomb of Tutankhamun and the Mortuary Temple of Hatshepsut, as well as important developments in literature, including the Book of the Dead and the Amarna letters. The New Kingdom was also a time of significant religious innovation. Pharaohs such as Akhenaten attempted to reform the traditional polytheistic religion of Egypt and established a monotheistic cult around the worship of the sun disk, Aten. This period also saw the development of the cult of Osiris, the god of the dead, and the emergence of the Apis bull cult in Memphis. Third Intermediate Period. This period spans from approximately 1070 BC to 712 BC, and it was marked by political instability and foreign domination. Despite these challenges, the Third Intermediate Period also saw significant developments in religion, art, and culture. The Third Intermediate Period began with the end of the New Kingdom, as Egypt's power and influence waned. The pharaohs who ruled during this time struggled to maintain control over their territories, and Egypt became increasingly fragmented as local rulers gained more autonomy. Foreign powers also played a significant role during the Third Intermediate Period. The Libyan kings of the 22nd dynasty established their capital in the Delta region and ruled over northern Egypt, while the Nubians of the 25th dynasty conquered Egypt and established a new dynasty based in the city of Napata. Despite these challenges, the Third Intermediate Period was not without its achievements. The period saw important developments in religion, including the emergence of the cult of Osiris and the worship of other deities such as Amun, the god of the wind. It was also a time of artistic innovation, with new forms of art and architecture emerging, such as the style of decoration known as Ramesseum and the temple complex at Karnak. Late Period of Ancient Egypt. This period covers the time from approximately 712 BC to 332 BC, and it was marked by foreign domination and political instability. Despite these challenges, the late period also saw important cultural and religious developments, as well as significant achievements in art and architecture. The late period began with the Nubian rulers of the 25th dynasty, who conquered Egypt and established a new dynasty based in the city of Napata. However, this period of Nubian rule was short-lived, and Egypt soon fell under the control of the Assyrians, followed by the Persians, Greeks, and finally the Macedonians under Alexander the Great. Despite this period of foreign domination, the late period was not without its achievements. The period saw important religious developments, including the emergence of the cult of Isis and the spread of the worship of Serapis, a syncretic deity combining elements of Greek and Egyptian religion. It was also a time of artistic innovation, with new styles of sculpture and architecture emerging, such as the monumental statues of the pharaohs and the temple complexes at Edfu and Philae. That's it for today. We will meet with another interesting topic very soon.